What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel and to today's video. We got the OBS in the shop. Now, normally that would be to just go over the truck, do an oil change, fluids, or just a quick service before the 13-hour or so drive one way down to South Florida and Fort Myers for Eurotripper next week. But unfortunately, there's a little bit more going on than that. I knew that I had what looked to be a pretty bad oil leak coming from the back of the motor in front of the transmission, and normally all signs point to rear main seal. So I've kind of been groaning about that in the last couple of episodes, that this was looming, that this was coming up. This was going to be something that we were going to try to do before the trip to Eurotripper, because the last few times I've hauled anything with the Power Stroke, whatever's on the trailer has come back covered in oil. So we pulled the truck in. I have a rear main seal. We were getting geared up. We were getting ready to kind of just mentally be ready to get into this project when Corey took the preliminary look at the truck, and looks like we might not need to do a rear main seal. And also from all the OBS guys that we've kind of read about online, talking about mileage and this, that, the other thing, like it's probably not a rear main seal. It looks like it's coming from up top, possibly near the turbo, but also to add a wrench in the gears, we've got a fuel leak now too. What looks to be a pretty substantial fuel leak. Don't know how long that's been going on, but today is Thursday. We leave 1 week. Yeah. Oh boy. We leave in 1 week for Eurotripper. And I have yet to tell you guys what else is going on this trip, but we're not just going to Fort Myers for Eurotripper. I'm headed on to somewhere else in Florida to do something else on the way home. So this truck really needs to be on its A game for this trip. So we're starting with just looking at everything up top here. We see where moisture is. We see where there's some leaks, some points of concern. We are headed right now to an LKQ that's here in Chattanooga, which I haven't been to yet since I've been here for 2.5 years. There's 2 Arrow Nose Power Stroke trucks currently there. And from what the photos show, I guess the trucks have only been there about a month. It looks like some of the plenum and intake boots that we need, separate from the fuel and oil leak, might still be on those trucks. So we need the couplers from the intake to the turbo, and then the Y-pipe plenum couplers as well. Ford can get those next day, but they're $75 a piece. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to LKQ. We're going to look for some couplers. It's raining out, obviously, so we're probably going to get wet. It's probably really muddy since we've gone from this like snow, ice, ground freeze to sudden warm, melting ground, melting dirt, mud scenario. This is kind of off the beaten path from building the cars. This is a channel about what is going on in the shop, and this is what's going on in the shop. So unfortunately, we kind of don't know what to fix yet. That's the worst part of this whole deal.
Yeah, the light at the end of the tunnel is that we don't have the transmission on the ground already, and then realize it's a different leak.
Yep.
So what happens, I don't know, did you explain it already about the valley filling up with oil, and then the drain actually goes right down the back of the engine, and it looks like a rear main seal leak.
That's kind of where we're at, is the main valley inside the cylinder heads here is quite wet. Like there's a lot of fluid in there. All right, so we're kind of dodging the rain. It started pouring as we were leaving to go to LKQ. I want to hose the engine bay down, clean up all the oil and grime and all that that's in there, drive the truck, get it up to operating temp, get everything moving in there, fuel, oil, get everything circulating, drive it, come back and see what's wet. All right, so obviously it starts raining the second we back the truck out. Let's clean this thing down. Got some fuel lines in front of the motor. I love this truck. You guys know this is my second OBS in the last few years. E40D auto, which is cool. Definitely would rather a handshaker, but when you're in traffic with a car trailer behind you, boy, it's nice just being able to relax your left knee. But we're going for a drive. It's not raining right now, but the roads are wet, so it still might make a mess up underneath. We're hoping to warm this thing up after hosing it down and decreasing it to hopefully see if the leak presents itself to us, both oil and fuel. That way we can be like, it's leaking bad there. We'll try to fix that. All right, guys, so we're at LKQ right now, and we're kind of in a little tight window of weather. It's misting a little bit, but it's not too bad. Never been to this spot before. Nothing too old. We passed the 280Z when we came in. We're headed down to where there's a couple OBSs with 7.3s in them. This is the rig we're after here. We're after the turbo inlet, intake to inlet hose. It's all been robbed. Damn it. That sucks. All right, we're at the other, I think the only other 7.3 truck here. And that too has been robbed. Oh, the plenum's right here. Oh, those couplers. They don't look like much, but Ford gets $75 a piece for those things. I know I can order those things elsewhere, but time is of the essence because I want this truck buttoned up in the next couple of days. So we might just run these, clean them up at the shop, and just pick which one's the better of the two. Just noticed right behind the OBS we're picking here. What's up, Chris? So random. Shout out to my buddy Chris Petruccio, Crispy Media. Go check out some of his work. A lot of my cars have been featured in his videos, including the Corvair back in the 2014 Solo video, which blew up. I still get, to this day, a lot of kids saying, hey, I saw your Corvair in Crispy's 2014 Solo video. So shout out to Chris. All right, so we're back to the shop. Got the truck back inside. I looked up over the head here on top, and it looked like my ICP sensor, this guy right there, is leaking some oil underneath it. And the ICP sensor is your injector control pressure sensor. That's an aftermarket one. It's a large hex. Some of you OBS guys, if you're watching this, know more, but a good friend of mine, shout out to Austin, who's helped me a ton on this truck, helping me diagnose stuff over the phone. If it's like a 17 or 19 millimeter hex, it's OEM, and if it's larger, which that one is, it's been replaced. That's actually weeping some oil from under it, so I might replace the ICP sensor. Corey also found a fuel line underneath the fuel filter bowl that might be leaking fuel pretty badly.
You see that one hose clamp there?
Yep,
on
comes
the
up the
black
side
line?
of the bowl.
Yeah.
That guy.
There it is.
The fuel lines from Ford being a weekend out, it'll probably be fixed, hopefully fixed, in the next episode, which will be when we're hopefully on our way to Florida with this thing, with the Beetle on the trailer behind us. I know we were going to be done with the truck for the most part right now until Monday when fuel lines come in, but I was going to order an ICP sensors, but they're like $100, $150, something like that. And when I was looking at photos of them, there's an O-ring at the base of the threaded shank that threads into the port. And I just got it out, and I figured we'd grab the camera and film because I found out why this is leaking oil. Take a look down in there. Half of an O-ring. All right, next day, I went and got a Viton O-ring set because that O-ring was just torn to shreds. So I'm gonna see if we got an O-ring in this kit, the right size, and we'll get that in. We noticed that the water separator valve is leaking, so I went and got one of those. These aren't given away either. This is about $70, but your local parts store can get these. I got these from O'Reilly. When fuel lines come in, we'll do all that in the next episode, but at least stuff's starting to show up. Corey just cleaned up the couplers we got at LKQ yesterday. They look pretty good, huh?
Yeah, I still don't know if they're better than the ones that are in there. But...
Yeah. Well, we'll take a closer look at these too. We're using Viton O-rings. These hold up better to like fuel and high pressure scenarios, more so than just like a silicone black O-ring. And these were at Harbor Freight for $9.99. So you get a whole set, 180 piece set, various sizes, assorted sizes, $10. I think this one might be the one. That's it. Gonna thread this back in, hook it back up, and hopefully that solves our oil leak. Hopefully it just came right down to that. All right, so package came from Coney overnight. Huge shout out to Alan and everyone at Coney for not just overnighting us this package, but for coming on board in the shop. I mean, it's crazy. It's crazy.
It is.
The support is insane. We got more than just shocks. Oh, he said the banner too.
Nice.
All right, let's take a look here. So, oh, we got some stickers. Nice. All the vintage stickers too.
Yeah.
Those are really cool.
Yep.
The ones that actually come on like the shock body. With the old, oh, sick.
Yep.
I like the vintage ones.
Yep.
perhaps what I'll end up doing is the next t-shirt drop, the first X amount of orders will include like some Rova stickers, some Coney stickers. We'll include like a little pack of stickers since we've got a whole bunch here. Big Coney die cut. Oh, a couple of them. Also, don't forget, you guys can send stuff to the shop. The P.O. box is in the video's description below if you guys want to send anything. Not that I'm really trying to do specific sub-mail episodes, but I want to dilute it into some of these episodes where we can talk about you guys and some of the stuff that you want to send to the shop that you either saw that we needed in the shop. Oh, got a couple shirts. Yeah. It's like a heather gray. Wow, these are actually really sick. All right, well, we got a banner. Oh, we got more than one. Wow. We got a couple banners. How many banners? Oh, we got some short ones too. Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll find plenty of spots for these. Yeah. Coney is currently out of stock on the rear Beetle shocks, but the rears in the 64 have been replaced and they look somewhat new. The fronts, however, look like the original 64 shocks. So luckily they had fronts in stock. Nice. Yeah. So these here, although they don't look adjustable, they're adjustable. It's a twin tube, not high pressure oil shock. This is what we want in the 64 Beetle, especially now that we've lowered it. But if you've got a stock Beetle, this is a perfect replacement shock and upgrade shock for your Beetle. Also, on the box here, just what we were talking about with the vintage logos, the one with the wings was 1948. And I remember this one mostly from Coney. That's 1967. And then the one you see mostly now, they revamped in 2007. So pretty cool to see how long Coney's been around from Holland. So super excited about these. Huge shout out to Coney, Alan, everybody over there for hooking us up and being a part of the shop this year. Really looking forward to doing more with them. All right, so if you guys didn't see the last episode, go back and watch it now when we get all of the Everesto stuff back in the car. We've got the Everesto 6-inch narrowed beam in the front with the Everesto skid plate. We've got it set down kind of where we want it. We can go a little bit lower in the front, but what we can't do is go any lower in the rear because we don't have a trans engine raise. And we were binding our axles up. The fulcrum plate axle angle was binding up really bad on the first test drive. We only got just down the street. And a lot of you guys knew that. We speculated that during the drive. It wasn't until we got back, we started looking at it, that our axle angles were exhausted. So we brought the rear up a little bit since the last drive. I haven't been even out the driveway yet with it up about another inch or so. All right, we're back down on all fours. Coneys are installed, but we've brought the rear up about an inch. It doesn't look bad. It's got a little bit more rake now because we haven't touched the front, but it's not terrible rake. It's acceptable rake, in my opinion. think I need to adjust my shoes a little bit tighter. Got a little bit more throw on the brake pedal than I'd like. Steering feels good. So far, the tires aren't rubbing as bad as they were before. All right, here we go. Come on. Well, I'd say the second drive was pretty successful, but we still have some axle noise in the rear. So like I said, that might just be that we're too low in the rear for the factory transmission mounts for the axle angle that we're at right now. Maybe before Eurotripper, well, definitely before Eurotripper, we're going to drive it a bunch more, but perhaps raise the rear just a little bit more. It still could do with a little bit more forward rake. I just cut the wheel side to side, was able to get under there and look, and we're not touching those Coney shocks, which is great because just setting it down on the blocks, it looked like we didn't have much clearance at all, and it is tight with the Everresto lower shock relocator mounts. We've got some more dialing in to do. Obviously, we've got to figure out how to get that rear end to not make so much noise. That's first and foremost. But other than that, we are on the home stretch with this car, at least for Eurotripper. There's a lot more stuff we want to do to this thing before the giveaway starts. I will have a lot of information coming for you guys on the giveaway for this car. I'm just trying to get all my logistics sorted out. So we're able to get the Coney shocks in there. The OBS, we still have yet to sort this thing out, but we have parts coming for this on Monday. The ICP sensor has the O-ring in it. That's back in. Next episode on Monday, we're going to continue tinkering on the Beetle. We're going to do some aesthetics on it. Might try to buff that paint out, which will look awesome. But we're also going to get this thing ready for the haul to South Florida. So keep your fingers crossed that we don't have any more surprises, that we can just dial the truck in, dial the Beetle in, and we're on our way to South Florida. And once we're down in South Florida, we got something else to share with you guys, something super exciting. So stay tuned for that. Thank you guys so much for watching. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. If you haven't yet, hit the subscribe button. It helps the channel grow in a massive way. But I want to give a huge thanks to Everresto again for being a part of this 1964 Beetle build and the Auto Union. We're going to be working with them on the 1000 SP too, so get stoked on that. But also to Coney Shocks for coming on board, being a part of some of these projects here in the shop, and overnighting us the shocks for the Beetle. We'll get the rears in soon once they're back in stock with Coney, but I'm really looking forward to working with them more this upcoming year as well. Thank you guys so much for watching. We will see you in the next episode.